Good morning, Fulton, Missouri. Your Mayor Lyle Cannell here with another installment of Mornings with the Mayor. I want to welcome our listeners this morning and my guests. Sitting in with me this morning, we have none other than our Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, Tamara Tatijian. Welcome, Tamara. Thank you for being here. Along with her today is Brianna Cleathermos, and she is the Chamber Business Relationship Liaison. It's a lot of words there for your title, so thank you, Brianna, for being here. And then last but not least, Daryl Dunlap, our Interim Director of Administration for the City of Fulton, is with us. So thank you all for being here this morning.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. So now we've had a little break between our podcasts. So first off, I want to apologize for that. We just had a lot going. We've been extremely busy the last couple of months, but things are moving well, and I'm super excited to be back to this. So for one thing, this lets me hang out with some really cool and interesting people. So we have lots of those in Fulton, but the main purpose for the podcast is just to not only do something beneficial for the City of Fulton, but also the community as a whole. So before I get even to our topic for the day, I want to talk just a little bit about that. The podcast itself is picking up quite a few listeners, and people are talking about it. So we wanted to add a little bit to it, and so honestly, I told Tamara I need some help.
And I'm here to help.
So, and I thank you for that. She has agreed to start being my co-host or sidekick. I think co-host is more appropriate.
Co-host, yeah.
You deserve that. And for agreeing to do that is fantastic. So I'm excited about that. And she'll obviously bring a lot more energy, and she has her finger on the pulse of Fulton, definitely. So who better to try to help the old mayor out, So thank you for agreeing to do that, Tamara.
You're welcome, Mayor. I'm going to try to help you out here and be your co-host.
That I need it. So before we introduce our guests, I would like to, I just did that, sorry. So I'm reading from notes here, folks. We're struggling. See, I need help.
Yeah.
So if you would start off, Tamara, would tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I'm Tamara Tatijian. I'm the Executive Director of the Callaway Chamber of Commerce right here in Fulton, Missouri. I have been in this position a little over 6 years. We've made a lot of headway with the Chamber of Commerce over the last 6 years, adding new programs, new positions like Brianna. We'll talk about that a little bit today. But we're really trying to engage the community with shopping local programs, also helping people that are ready to start businesses, that have that entrepreneurial mindset. So we're making some new ways in the Chamber of Commerce. We're no longer that organization that plans the parades. We have lots of people in this community that are going to plan a parade. But us at the Chamber, we're really working on economic development. And so, my passion is building community for business and family, and I want to see that happen. I want to see that happen here in the City of Fulton and do that every single day. So thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be your co-host, your sidekick, because I'm really looking forward to this. And
I could say for the time I've known you, which is now getting to be several years, that you're the right person for this job. You have the passion, the talent, and the enthusiasm, and we all just try to strive to keep up with you.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. I appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome. So next up, Brianna, I'm a huge fan of yours. We haven't known each other that long, but you have a lot of wonderful qualities, and Tamara is very lucky to have you on her team. But if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me here today. I am Brianna Cleathermos. I am the Small Business Liaison at the Chamber. I began in here in May, and since then I moved up here, and I love how welcoming and amazing the people are at Callaway. So it's a little bit different than my old job, but I still love it. And then at the Chamber, I help small businesses with anything from startup ideas to succession planning to buying a business, selling a business, a little bit of everything in between. So if you come to me with your startup idea, I'm here to help you make it successful.
Gotcha. So you're a go-to person for any person that needs advice on starting a business or helping to make that business flourish.
Yep, I'm your girl.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and even if you have problems as a business owner, she can help you facilitate through those problems and issues too.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you see a need in your business, get in contact, shoot her an email, and go to their website, and you'll be able to find her, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yep, awesome. All right, and lastly, Daryl Dunlap here. I had to apologize to you, Daryl. This was supposed to take place a little while ago, about a month or so ago, but with everything going on, it just didn't work out. We've been busy. But by all means, I do welcome you this morning. As probably most of you know, Daryl is our new interim DOA, Director of Administration here for the city. He has stepped up in a big way for the city this last several weeks. He's not only doing that huge job, but he's still doing his original big job for the city of Fulton. So I just appreciate you, Daryl, and thank you for taking the time for this. And if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I've been here since 2005, I believe, fall of 2005, as a utility superintendent, and moved my family up here. We loved it. The town is very open-armed. We was in our house for, I don't know, less than a month, and we got invited to a block party, so everybody welcomed us in. I was kind of glad when Tamara showed up, because I was the one with the funny accent till Tamara got here. She kind of took pressure off that a little bit. But we've had a great time. We got great folks here. And one thing we're going to talk about the economic development, and as we're trying to land industries, new industries here, our main goal is let's stay in the fight till we get them to town. If we can get them to town and show our workforce and our people and our living quality here, things we can do and things that's nearby, I think we always got a really good shot if we can just get them to town to look.
Right, and you guys are always constantly trying to perfect that process. I know that, so thank you. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about economic development, the process and important elements that our community can contribute to the economic growth, and how the city and the chamber work together to make this happen. So, Tamara, if you would talk to us a little bit about that, economic development piece and the city's role, and why should we care about that?
Well, thank you, Mayor. So economic development is one of those things that people always want to talk about. They want to talk about what new business is coming in and why we haven't gotten any new business, etc. But there's a couple of pieces that are really important to this process. The first thing is retaining the businesses that we currently have here in Fulton.
Absolutely.
And that goes a long way. When you're retaining those businesses, when you're shopping locally, you're shopping at these small shops, we have people that are working in our industries here and staying here in our community. That is important. If people have somebody that's looking for a job, they need to point them our way, because we have jobs opening right here in Fulton. And that is important to retain those businesses, because if they don't have the workforce, then they can't stay here.
And that's something that can get stagnant if you don't stay on it.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's a really important piece. Is people ask all the time, well, what are you doing to bring things in? Well, first of all, we're doing a lot of stuff to retain them. Brianna, for one, goes out and visits a lot of the small businesses, walks in and says, how's business? What can I help you with? And then we have those conversations with the industry as well. And, right now the hot topic for the main big industries is workforce. So retaining the businesses, so always think about retaining the businesses and supporting your local businesses first. And then, of course, there's leakage where you have to go outside of the community, because maybe we don't have that goods or service and you have to go outside the community. That's okay. But try to shop locally if you possibly can. Then, there's that developing the workforce piece. And so sometimes you have people that maybe are underemployed or unemployed or low skilled. And our job is at the Chamber of Commerce is to try to help develop that workforce. So we do programs like MOAMP, where we're partnering with State Technical College. We've done welding classes. We started a professional development class that's going to run a year long on Tuesday, and that will happen every other month. We've got several people in our industries that have signed up for that. So we're constantly trying to find those ways to develop the workforce. Making application for new industrial development, that's those requests for informations that we get from the state. They are people that are looking to relocate their business or to open up a new location, contact the state.
And that's the RFIs?
That's the RFIs.
Okay.
And so that's just one of those pieces of economic development. Daryl and I, we work on RFIs together a lot.
I know you do.
In 2021, we did 25 of those, and that was a lot of RFIs and a lot of work. RFIs are anywhere from like 4 pages to 60 pages that will ask all kinds of different questions about property and utilities and quality of life, which is a really important piece, especially when the businesses are looking to relocate here. They want to talk about that quality of life, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Of course, also supporting the entrepreneurial spirit, which is what Brianna does. She works with people that are looking to open up their business, or they have a business and they need maybe some additional assistance with financials or a website, or making sure that their location is on Google. So we always are continually supporting that entrepreneurial spirit.
You want to have that encouragement just ready to go, right in your back pocket, right?
Absolutely,
Yep.
yeah. And so when somebody comes into the chamber and they're talking about industrial development, those big projects, or maybe starting a small business, we want them to feel welcome. We want them to feel like this is a great place to do business and a great place to call home. Kind of what Daryl mentioned a minute ago. He felt so welcome once he moved here from. I don't know.
I moved from Tennessee.
When he moved here from Tennessee. So also
But not every community has that quality of life, and,
No.
and I know we talked to Daryl
Yeah.
a little bit, and we'll talk maybe more
Yeah.
about that, but yeah.
Yeah, so quality of life is that piece of economic development that's really important too. In our community here in Fulton, the citizens play a huge part in the quality of life, and that is that huge part of economic development, helping us have small businesses, having the industry that we have here, our workforce development, people that are participating and going and playing basketball at the rec center or the YMCA. Those are all pieces of quality of life. What if you're doing a referee? You're helping with quality of life. So that is a huge part, and we want to continue to grow that here in our community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, Daryl, if you would just get into a little bit of detail about the RFIs and how the city, your role in that, and others here at the City Hall that takes part in that.
Yeah, Tamara will usually call and email, and she'll email a list of questions they have. And like she said earlier, sometimes it's very simple. Sometimes she says, we got till tomorrow at noon, and you're like, oh my God, how are we going to get this together? A lot of times it's what's been driving last year a lot was it seemed like the ones we got either had high water usage or high wastewater usage. And that is a limiting factor, especially the wastewater. Now, if we need to put a new tank and a well down for a high water consumption, we can do that. But they'll give us the electric loads. It's kind of shifted. I've been doing this since 87, 88. And used to it was all about the bill. And now it seems like, and Tamara can correct me, but it seems like it's almost a follow-up question.
On the
bill. They want to know about the reliability. They want to know, and we changed a couple of years ago and started tracking outages, and we use American Public Power to actually calculate those numbers, so we can give them the outage, the minutes out.
And that's much more important than even the cost.
That seems to be more important than the cost, at least on the initial end. A lot of times they will send us enough information that we can actually, hey, here's what your bill's going to look like. Sometimes it's very vague and we have to put a little bit of guesswork into what they're talking about to do a bill. But we always send the rates in case there was a different assumption they made, so they can calculate their bill
Do their
also.
own calculations, yeah.
Social media has changed how we do stuff. When I started out in the 80s, if they wanted to know about the town, they got the newspaper. And they would get online and get a newspaper or whatever. Internet was around at that time, believe it or not. But now they can do a lot by just looking at social media, such as this
Find out
podcast.
about the quality of life thing.
Quality of life thing again. They can get on the rec center and see what's going on at the rec center. They can, Facebook, just type in Fulton, Missouri, and see what people are saying.
And they can also see the chamber's website, or their,
Yes.
the activity of the business community that way, just at the click of a button. So that has changed.
So that's changed a lot. They can gather a lot of information without even contacting anybody, and maybe they even do that somewhat before the stuff starts coming to Tamara. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
My first usually question to Tamara is, what's the name of this one? Because they're always, crazy names, might be a fish like the whale or
Yeah, I see those come
crappie.
across my desk. Like, where did they come up with that?
It's like, and because they don't want anybody to know who they are.
Yeah,
It's very secretive, and what you do find out has to remain in a very close group, or you blew it. I mean, it's gone.
Right.
And you also got to make sure that you're not making. A lot of the stuff comes from state leads, the state of Missouri. So you got to play in the game box like they want to, and. So a lot of times we really don't know very much about them other than what they reveal, and they don't reveal enough that you can figure out who they are.
Right. And that's probably the way it should be. We have a job to do, they have a job to do. We all have our roles, and the main thing is that those RFIs lead to RFPs, right?
Right.
Which is the next stage of actually, hey, we like Fulton, and let's get a proposal of what that could look like of us being here.
Right, exactly. To Daryl's point about the confidentiality, when a company is looking to maybe relocate, the last thing they want to do is announce that, or us announce that to somebody, and it get back to the community in which they're already at. Or maybe they're just doing an expansion.
Yep.
And they don't want that to get back to the community in which they're at.
Yeah, because they have employees to think about in their lives, and
Right. So, it is really important for us to be confidential and do our due diligence to complete the application that they request from us, and leave it at that until we hear from them. So we don't do any active trying to figure out who it is and to try to recruit them or anything like that. We let the state do their job and we do ours.
Right. And I think there's some misconception sometimes that, there's more that we could do. And like you said, there's a line there that, we'll do all we can, and then it's up to the business if we're a fit.
That's right.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back to quality of life again. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
It's key.
There was one years ago, and that's when I was in Arkansas. And this town was making the cut. They was making the cut. It wasn't the town I was in. And they had everything. I mean, they had interstate. They had river. They had rail. All the transportation stuff they had covered, which we're lacking in rail, and we know that.
Right.
But when they didn't get it, the mayor asked the people that was coming, and this guy was very open of who they were, and they were relocating a plant from another city. And he goes, what can we do different? We want to learn from this. What can we do different? And finally the gentleman said, hey, I'm moving some folks that, I hired 25 years ago and I'm good friends with, and your quality of life here that's what cuts you out.
Isn't acceptable.
So they lost some, and I don't know how you fix that as somebody that don't have it. How do you build that and fix that? But that was their problem.
You can't fix that if you haven't at least kept up some kind of programs like obviously we have, and I think we do a great job of it. But yeah, in that situation, they are limited greatly now, forever maybe.
They want the restaurants, the bowling alleys, the theaters. They want the senior centers. They want Little League and all of those things. Those quality of life are important to those folks that are moving to the community because they have families too. And they want to have things that their family can participate in offers to their family.
And sometimes it's things that you don't think about. If they're doing expansion, which you don't know if they're doing expansion, but maybe this isn't the corporate office. Maybe this is a secondary office. They'll ask about your airport because they're planning on flying in. I mean, they're business folks.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And, so we try to highlight that, not only do we have the airfield here, we've got airfields within 20 minutes because that can be a deal breaker, and it's something that's overlooked a lot is the airport side.
Right, and just to touch on that a little bit more, there's also the misconception that there's not a lot of value to that airport, but I'm telling you folks, that's dead wrong. That means a ton, and to the people that it means something to, those people mean a great deal to Fulton and Callaway County.
Absolutely.
So keep that in mind as we always, maybe don't understand some of the expenditures out there and the need for that airport, but it's a big deal. So.
Okay, so now I'm going to take some time just to introduce Brianna. And Brianna, as she said, she came to work at the Chamber of Commerce in May of 2021. Prior to that, she worked for Lincoln University, the Small Business Development Center. So all of the tools that the Small Business Development Center have in their toolbox, we have now at the Chamber of Commerce with our partnership and our relationships that we've built with the SBDC. So when you come to see Brianna, you have a lot of things that we offer that sometimes in other communities you'd have to run all over the place to get those services, but not at the Chamber of Commerce. So Brianna, your role at the Chamber focusing on those small businesses, can you just kind of talk a little bit more about your role and maybe some of those challenges that some of the small businesses face in our community?
Thanks, Tamara. So I help small businesses with a variety of things. Last month I was helping someone do succession planning. Last week was inventory management. Yesterday I was helping set up an LLC. She came in and we talked about, do you need a business loan? What do you do with that? Do you need a business plan? Have you started on one? The SBDC, we have software where you can write a business plan and I can go in and edit it, give you comments the very next second. So that's a really great tool that I use quite frequently. A really great thing is building connections with our local banks so that they're not intimidated when they go in with a banker and they don't know anything about them. So me facilitating that meet so they're not going in alone. Another thing that I do is I can help you register your LLC, your EIN number, all those aspects to starting a business. And then we talk about, is this business right for this community? Do you have the target market here? That might be an amazing business, but we might not be able to support it. So we go over all those details before you open your business, before you open doors, to make sure you have all of your details together. And with the SBDC resources, we do market research as well for them. So some of the challenges that I feel like the businesses here face are advertising locally without Facebook. So getting those other options out of, instead of, oh, they have to follow me on Facebook, that's the only way they're going to hear about me. The Chamber has some great opportunities for networking and marketing, so I appreciate that coming from somewhere that doesn't have that. Another issue I see is just realizing that your competition isn't only in Fulton. You have to think about outside of the county. Are your customers working in Jefferson City? Are they working in Columbia? Those are also competition to you. So one of the things that I think you could fix that is to just encourage people to shop local. Yeah, you might be coming from Columbia and working, and the Walmart there is closer, but think about our small businesses here. Last month, me and a couple of friends, we went and did antiquing all through Callaway County. Then we had lunch in the Brook District, and they fell in love with it. So now we're regularly planning, let's go explore different parts of Callaway County. So my idea is shop local and bring a friend along, someone that's not from the county.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of great fun. So we're going to keep doing that.
You know, I'd like to mention, the Chamber right now, we're doing Loving Local. We have this whole push on Facebook, and every day we have some businesses that we're giving away these items, and they have to like and share and comment on these posts. But not only is it a chance for people to win, these items that are local, but it also gives people ideas of what they can buy their significant other for Valentine's Day. So it does those twofold things and helps people and encourages them to shop locally.
Absolutely. Yep. And I see the work that goes in, and I see a Brianna at all these events that I will have to go to too. And they're all fun, and it's wonderful though to get out and meet the people, meet the business community, and have that relationship and that trust. And it sounds like you're a willing partner to any business that would need a helping hand there.
Yes, that's one of my favorite things is helping a variety of businesses, and every day is something different that I'm doing at the chamber.
Excellent. All right. So Tamara, is there anything else you'd like to share? You're here this morning with us.
Yeah, so there is one other thing I want to share is right now State Tech and the Callaway Chamber of Commerce are accepting applications for the MOAMP program. That is for anybody that is underemployed, unemployed, or low skilled, 18 or older U.S. citizen, and they have to have a high school diploma or a GED. They can come to the chamber to fill out an application. We have to have 16 people to participate in this program before we can even have the class. And they can come Monday through Friday, 8 to 2, to complete an application. If they need a different time, that those times don't work for them, they just need to give the chamber a call so we can set up a time for them to complete their application. So come on down if you are unemployed, underemployed, or low skilled and you'd like to participate in the MOAMP program. They take an NCRC test. They can learn precision management, fundamental skills, safety and accident, motor controls, HVAC, OJT, robotics, CPR. So there's
We've got a lot of people here in Fulton that could do all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So these are some neat classes and what's really cool about this is they're free. Yeah. And so this is a grant that State Tech College has, and they'll get a certification when they complete each one of these sections. But it's with State Tech, their instructors, they come to Fulton to teach these classes, so people won't have to go to State Tech. But if they're interested, they need to get down there and get signed up. The sooner we get 16 qualified applicants to participate, the sooner we can start that class.
Right on. So you heard it, folks. We need bodies, 16 bodies to participate. Right. So, all right. So we'll kind of wrap this up today. This was wonderful. This has been a great chat. We've helped shed some light on what goes on behind the scenes, I think, and that's why people want to hear. I think, or that's they don't always see the details, and they see maybe the results or not the results, but they don't see the work that goes in to this stuff. So thanks for sharing with that. I do have a couple of announcements. We are right in the middle of winter right now. Had a big snowstorm last week that wasn't too bad, but we would like our citizens to keep keep checking up on our website, our social media sites, to be informed. We do have, I'll try to have information, current happenings, and even urgent public notices at times that can come up. Also, right now we're right in the middle of our interviews for the permanent Director of Administration position, so that's been exciting to see the City of Fulton move towards a new future, so to speak. So your council and myself have been putting in quite a few hours to get that accomplished, and I want to say thanks to everyone involved in that, particularly your City Council. And then I'm happy and sad to see another one of our longtime employees that's going to retire, Jody Buckholz, after 30 years working for the city. So Jody, you'll be missed greatly, sir, and we wish you well. That'll be coming up here at the end of the month. So, and again with that, I want to thank our guests, especially Tamara, and we'll be hearing from her now on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, maybe
Looking
she'll
forward
even
to it.
take over and do some extra podcasts at times.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Most importantly, I want to thank you, our listeners, for taking the time to hear what's going on in our little part of the world. As always, Mayor Cannell, proudly serving Fulton.